to change their habits. But what if your physical and mental fitness are actually the prerequisite for the title itself? Welcome to Leading Before the Title, a live session where we unfold what it truly means to lead long before you have the formal title. I'm your host, Rahul Karan Sharma, and my guest today is a transformative entrepreneur standing at the intersection of health, science, and business. She is the CEO of Spry Life and the founder of Green Go, and she is dedicated to empowering the next generation of leaders through the lens of mental fitness and holistic well-being. Please join me in welcoming Jodi Scott. Jodi, welcome to our show. How are you doing today?
Very good, thank you. Great to be here with you.
Absolutely. I know you had some rough weeks, last couple of weeks, but I'm glad that you are coming back with flying colors. Before we deep dive further, Jodi, I would love to hear from you. What does this concept of leading before the title mean to you personally and professionally?
Oh, so much to unpack there. For me, presence builds leaders that people can trust. And what I want is leadership that has a positive impact at the kitchen table, in the homes of the people that you're spending every day with. And
Mhm.
that's just really important to me.
Wow, that is powerful. That is very powerful. And sometimes we tend to portray things in front of people whom we just deal maybe for a few minutes in a day, but our true nature, our true habit really comes out when we are alone, when we are with our loved ones. That's where our true character comes in. And how you behave then really makes a difference in how you behave at the corporate world, or for that matter, in your entrepreneur world. So, thank you for sharing that. Um, Now, I know the journey that you had, Jody, specifically at the Green Go, was was not a a piece of cake. It was a roller coaster ride. You had a tough time, challenges both from people perspective as well as the compliance perspective. So, can you share a pivotal moment in your Green Go journey where leadership had to outspace your resources?
Oh, where leadership outpaced my resources. Well, we built Green Goo very quickly. So I come
Mhm,
from a medical background. I have a master's in health psychology, specialized in psychoneuroimmunology, and was
mhm,
training resident physicians on the biopsychosocial model. There's nothing about a P&L or selling your company and buying it back 101 in that. And so my
mhm,
sister's an herbalist and a midwife. And so when we started Green Goo, it was very much to reinvent first aid. We wanted to prove that plant based solutions could be superior than your traditional OTC products. And we
mhm.
grew to 150,000 points of distribution in less than 5 years. It was one of the first
Wow.
homeopathics registered with the FDA. And it was a lot
Mhm,
of fight or flight. It was go, go, go. And for me, resilience was you just keep pushing. And
mhm,
so we came to this intersection right after the pandemic, and our Green Goo was essentially in all the retail stores. And when the pandemic happened and nobody was going into stores anymore, because if you have poison ivy, you go to your local pharmacy.
yeah.
Uh, we had to pivot really quickly. So we pivoted, and my team did a beautiful job. And we built an online business when it was very difficult to build an online business because everybody was looking to build an online business at that time. And we
Mhm,
didn't have to
mhm.
let go a single team member. And that was
Wow.
beautiful.
Mhm,
What I realized though was that I couldn't insulate risk if another pandemic happened, another crisis happened. We're this bootstrapped family business. And so,
mm,
we made the decision to partner with another company so that we could grow. And
Mm.
unfortunately, that partnership didn't work. They faced legal and
Mm.
financial issues, and we had less than 24 hours to fire that legacy team that we had worked so hard to keep. And
Wow.
suddenly we lost our company, we lost our purpose, we lost our team. And in that moment, that is when I realized I am so not prepared for this moment. I was far from present. I was
Mm-hmm.
anxious about the future, and I was depressed about the past and the shoulda, woulda, coulda. And that was the
Mm.
real defining moment for me from a leadership perspective, that I had to change the way I operated, because it wasn't about doing. There was no doing in this moment. I needed to be, and I needed to get present. I needed to get clarity so that I could find a way to buy our company back.
Mm. Wow. And when you are sharing this story, what's going in my mind is, as in corporate world, we all have our plan A, plan B, plan C. But what you and your team had to go through, I don't think any plan would have helped you back then. And it was all about how you move forward with the current situation, and how you navigate, you as a leader as well as navigate your team, really make a difference. Your mental resilience, your support system has to be very, very solid. And one of the concept that you brought up while we were having our conversation earlier was about the mental fitness gym that you really talk a whole lot about it. Um, I wanted to seek your input on that, and I want our listeners to learn more about this mental fitness gym. So, how can a leader practically train their mental fitness gym to prepare for the high stakes decision making that you have to go through? And I'm sure the field that you are in, you must be going through on day in, day out. So enlighten us with that thought process of yours around mental fitness gym, Jodi.
Yes, well, to give some context, so here we are in this moment where we didn't know what to do. And
Mm-hmm.
I had just hired a mentor coach, and we were very early in our relationship. And I had to let him know, hey, Monday, Timmy, I can't be at this phone call with you. Um, I lost my job, and I can't continue to pay for you. And he's like, what's going on? And he said, you know what, Jody, I'll be there 5 o'clock on Monday, every Monday, to be there for you. And that was nice, and I really appreciate it. But when you have that state of paralysis, and leaders, you know what I'm talking about, when you're just so overwhelmed with paralysis, it doesn't matter if someone gives you the keys to the kingdom. You can't see beyond that. And so Monday rolled around, and I wasn't going to go to the meeting. And I just said, you
Mm-hmm.
know what? I'm going to just go, and I'm going to show up, and I'm going to say thank you, but no thank you. And I get to the meeting, and he's like, okay, Jody, how are you going to do this? And I said, I don't know, but thank you, but no thank you. He goes, well, your mental fitness boot camp starts now. And I go, excuse me?
Uh-huh.
And he goes, you're going to set your alarm every 3 hours, and you're going to do a presence exercise for 30 seconds to 2 minutes. And we are going to build your mental fitness so that you have the clarity to do what you need to do. And I thought, okay, first of all, setting my alarm for every 3 hours, I can't even wrap my head around that. Two, what is a presence exercise? And how is this going to help me? And he's
Uh-huh.
like, you need to treat this like you do a muscle in you're working out. This is your mental fitness muscle. And you're going to go outside, and you're going to do some various exercises, whether it's feeling your feet on the ground, watching the clouds go by, take a couple deep breaths. And most of them are feel, touch, hear,
Mm-hmm.
smell, breath. And you're going to do that consistently every 3 hours for the 30 seconds to 2 minutes. And I thought, this is nuts. And I said, okay, I'm going to try this thing. And let me tell you, the first time my alarm went off, I thought, I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
nope, I'm going to give this a chance. And entrepreneurs, when you're flooded with all these thoughts, you get quiet for a minute, and you want to start thinking about all the things you need
Yeah.
to do. And you have to brush
Mm-hmm.
that aside and get very present in that nervous system exercise. And what I
Sure, sure.
discovered is the more I did that, the better I got at it and the more I
Hmm.
wanted to do it. And then the more
Interesting.
clarity came. And all of a sudden, you're out of fight or flight and you're in a much more expansive state of being. And now I've got clarity. I'm able to navigate situations in a way that I didn't have before and see opportunities and put myself in very difficult situations where the whole world's kind of blowing up around me. And yet
Hmm.
I'm going to be okay. I've got clarity. I'm present and I've got a job to get done. And from
Hmm.
that day forward, I continue to invest in these various mental fitness exercises the same way I go to the gym, and it is a part of my wellness and
Hmm.
entrepreneurial journey. And I can see now how I was
Hmm.
only operating at maybe 20 to 30% of high performance. And once this has been introduced into my day to day, I am operating and excelling in a far higher performing capacity than I
Wow.
ever thought was possible.
Wow. So first of all, kudos to your coach for bringing this concept of mental fitness gym, and kudos to you for trusting in him. I mean, I do not know him or her, but I'm just for sake of our conversation, I will use him. Trusting him, trusting his practice, and then executing it, because most of us, we consider knowledge as power, but the way I look at it is knowledge is only power if you execute it. So Jodi, in your case, you executed whatever were told to you, those mental fitness exercise. And just for the audience, what Jodi mentioned about is very similar to what we call as grounding techniques. You look at things that you can smell, you can feel, you can taste. So every 3 hours, take away 30 seconds to 2 minutes time, either go for a walk or feel something, touch something. That's what mental fitness gym that Jodi is talking about. So thank you, Jodi, for bringing that up. And when I first heard about it, it was very unique and something we all need to do on a daily basis, but we miss on it. So you really gave that push, and I'm sure the listeners today, as well as whoever will be listening to us in the days to come, will focus on their mental fitness gym. Very good.
Thank you.
And Jodi, you coming from a very health background, I would want to take your inputs on why you believe, apart from mental health, the physical health is kind of a non-negotiable requirement for the next generation of global leaders.
You can't have one without the other. If you're really going to perform optimally, you need this
Hmm.
vehicle to work with you. And very much full circle in my psychoneuroimmunology, our skin is not just the largest organ, it is the first defense signal. And it
Mm.
communicates to your nervous system, your immune system, and your psychology. So when you think about even your physical fitness and being able to integrate your systems in a way where you can perform at high levels and have the nutrition that you need and the resilience that you need, it's a game changer. And it could be as simple as, and this comes back to how I'm so passionate about green goo is sometimes it's just as simple as avoiding certain ingredients that are compromising the the integrity of your body, and then
Mm.
introducing nutrition and fitness so then you can complement and elevate what your body already knows how to do, because our system is in a constant state of fight or flight on a day to day with everything that we're doing. And we've got to feed it. We got to give it the fuel that it needs. And it can be hydration, antioxidants, mindfulness, avoiding certain things, nature. All of those really do fit into some of those grounding exercises that you have shared and that help
Mm.
you stay present so you can have that mental clarity to really perform well.
Mm. Yeah, and I guess if you're physically not fit, it will be challenging for you to be mentally fit. So the physical and mental goes hand in hand. And if both things are not fit, then how can you aspire others? So as a leader, it's so important. Uh, and and I am also guilty to it, Jodi. When I was working full time for my employer, and I would not blame anyone. It is me who did not had that who did not took a time to really focus on your physical health. but God has given me that wisdom. Last 2 years has been great. I've been able to focus on that health aspects, and thank you again for bringing that thoughts in us, that physical health is the critical for us as aspiring leaders, or as human being. It's very, very important. So
And
before
to
I,
your
I
point, oh, go ahead,
hmm?
you go.
No, 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 please, please, please. Yeah.
Oh, it's just to your point. And when you show up that way as a leader, the domino or halo effect it has on your leadership and your
Mhm.
team. And then what's really cool is that they then are investing in themselves in that way. And then you create a really high performing culture. And then when
Sure.
they go home, they impact their family in a positive way. Just like the flip side is
Absolutely.
if you're creating a culture and an ecosystem that is in fight or flight all the time, they bring that home. And then that impacts their
Hmm.
partnerships, that impacts their parenting. And so I love to just invite flipping that over to see the impact that you can have on yourself and others and your system.
Sure. Absolutely. Right on. What we do, whether we know whether we like it or not, is being passing on to the people who are working with us, and for that matter, your family. Your kids are looking at you. If you want to imbibe, if you want to put healthy habits in kids, you don't need to do anything. You just need to follow them. They will absorb it like a sponge, and they will put it in their life. So thank you again for bringing that up. Now, if you have to give Jody one piece of unconventional advice to someone who aspire to be a leader, who is a great individual contributor, aspire to be a leader like you, in the days to come or in the years to come, what would that advice be?
It would be start that mental fitness boot camp now and
Mm.
start investing into presence over pressure
Mhm.
and don't compromise that because you will see the results, you will feel the results. And it's just a whole new way of approaching life and business.
Wow. And also be accountable for it, because Jody is saying very, very simply, but I know what it really takes to bring that to life. It was not an easy decision for Jody to make that happen, specifically in the circumstances she was in when the coach introduced this mental fitness gym. So focus on it and make sure that you keep yourself accountable. Jody, before we let you go, I would want to know more about what's the next for you in terms of the impact that you are hoping to create in our community, as to maintain that clarity amidst the noise of the business world. In this hustle and bustle of the world, there is so much of noise. Uh, how are you making sure that things are getting better for people like us?
You know, you got to walk the talk. And so I just continue to walk the talk in my own wellness, mental fitness, and physical fitness journey. And
Mhm.
as we introduce these clean, not only plant based first aid solutions, but really inviting nutritive skincare as a part of that wellness journey so that we can have a more impactful relationship with our skin that also impacts our various systems so that we can continue to live in an optimal wellness journey state.
Hmm. Wow. Thank you, Jody, for reminding us that the greatest leadership asset is our own well being. And listeners, I would invite you to connect with Jody, learn more about her company, learn more about her, and see how you can be part of this journey in being an advocate of physical health, mental health, and ensuring that you are focusing on your present rather than thinking too much about your future, thinking too much about your past. To everyone enjoying watching us, remember that the leadership isn't a destination. It is the way you show up every single day, regardless of your rank. And one thing which I learned from one of the trainers, coaches, is always be on day one. What happens is when we become accustomed to our culture, our norm, we get into that comfort zone. But if you treat every day at work as your day one, it will make a difference. when you reach, or when you start your job or anything you start on day one, you are very excited, you are very curious, and your mindset is to get things done. So keep with that mindset. And if you want to dive deeper into these topics and gain fresh perspective, I would encourage you to join our LinkedIn group, Leadership Sounding Board, where we have multiple leaders volunteering their time to support you, to give you the different perspective that probably you're not able to gain at Workday. It's a dedicated community of next gen leaders and mentors. So help us in promoting that community. And Jodi, once again, thank you for joining us on LinkedIn Live. Thank you for making day for many. Whoever is listening to us, they will start practicing the mental fitness gym. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.